As I continue to monitor the feedback that I'm receiving on the Just Cause 3 video, which happens to be my most popular video by far, I also continue to see more and more mentions of its infamous sequel, Just Cause 4. Now I found this to be quite interesting, as most of the comments that mentioned Just Cause 4 ended up sparking controversies in the replies, with some defending it and some trashing it. I would occasionally chime into these conversations, but I wouldn't really get too involved, as Just Cause 4 was never really something that I was interested in, despite my love for the series. And the reason I never really got into it was because of its mediocrity. Now don't get me wrong, the idea of exploring this game has dwelled in my head for a long time, and recently a subscriber of mine said they'd love to hear my take on the game. So here we are. My days of neglecting this game are over. When Just Cause 4 was announced, I was still knee-deep in Just Cause 3 on my Xbox. PC gaming was something that I was just starting to get into, and I was entering my freshman year of high school. Now, when I saw that the developers of the Just Cause series were making a fourth installment, my initial reaction was excitement, since the reveal trailer had all sorts of crazy aspects to it that caught my attention. Aspects such as better optimization, graphics, and tornadoes. That all changed upon release. The reviews were horrible, the gameplay looked underwhelming, and it was too expensive for a product that had that bad of a reputation, and at the time I was an unemployed freshman anyways, so buying it was kind of out of the equation for me. So I waited, and I waited some more. Then eventually I forgot about it entirely. Until of course I was told to review it. So after my playthrough of this game, here's what I think. So throughout my playthrough of this game, I had to stop a lot and just process what was going on. There was a lot of similarity between Just Cause 4 and the rest of the games, but something was just off. First of all, there is no liberation aspect in Just Cause 4, which was something that I personally enjoyed a lot in the previous installments. Freeing the native people from the chokehold of a hostile dictatorship was how I remembered Just Cause, and even though I did sort of enjoy the new rebellion take that Just Cause 4 had, with the frontline combat aspect, it didn't feel nearly as nostalgic or fun as Just Cause 3 and 2. Secondly, Just Cause 4 felt too modern and too tedious to me. Now, I can see how this doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but bear with me. Just Cause 4 feels like it was meant to be a story-based single-player game, and not only did it fail to do that in my eyes, it also lost its freedom-based blow-up-stuff atmosphere that made the previous Just Cause games so much fun. And don't get me wrong, there are still plenty of explosions and messing around that you can do in Just Cause 4, it just feels forced in order to distract you from the fact that Just Cause 4 is a repetitive story mission packed mess. Which leads to my last negative about this game. Just Cause 4 is a very tedious game, and it shouldn't be so. Like I mentioned earlier, there's no liberation anymore, so none of the things that you destroy for chaos points even stay destroyed. The rewarding nature of decimating a military base or liberating a town is completely gone, and it's been replaced with chaos points and even more missions to complete. And the cycle just goes on. It is such a tedious process to progress through this game. I don't know why, but after you grind for a few hours, it just becomes repetitive and boring. Actually, I just told you why. Additionally, the story that Just Cause 4 was built on seems a bit forced and overcomplicated. Maybe I'm just not connecting the dots here, but Just Cause 3's story kinda felt like a finale for the series, with all the family aspects and voice lines at the end of the campaign hinting at, I don't know, all the characters settling down for once. The game is also still glitchy, even after its reloaded version came out, but that's beside the point. Just Cause 4 does have its pluses, however they are minuscule and are heavily outweighed by the cons. Starting off, I thoroughly enjoyed the graphics and map of this game. The environments stood out to me and were well designed. It almost brought me a Just Cause 2 map kind of feeling, not quite, but almost. There were a bunch of new tools that I could mess around with, like the grapple balloons and tether strength controller, both of which I see as an upgrade from Just Cause 3. Unfortunately, you could even make an argument that the additions on your grappling hook were unnecessary, which just shows that I'm scraping to say good things about this game. Well, that's it. The community had me expecting horrible things from this game, and that's kinda what I got, but it wasn't that bad, and looking back, it could have been really good. All the developers needed to do was bring the aspects that made Just Cause 3 so good into their new game, which they did not. Oh well. All the ideas were pretty good too, like the weather controlling oppression method and integrating the Black Hand as the primary villain as an extension from the Just Cause 3 DLC story. All things that could have made the game better than it is. Oh well, if they ever release Just Cause 5, hopefully they listen to their fanbase before doing so. Goodbye.